Hello, my fellow whales and tankers. This video is in awe of all the good news that this update has brought us. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. How is 115,000 gold mega bundle, that's about $460 if my math is correct, good news? It's good news because that means that in the last probably year or so, not only has there been new players, but there's been new whales. Look at all these old tanks, these old premium tanks that we've had advantage of getting for years now. And here, they put them all in one bundle. Why? Because there's new whales. Okay? We've got new, well-seasoned people who have time on their hand and money because they've earned it through their decades of employment and now have ceased with the employment and now have time to play a game that they want to show their love and appreciation to financially because communism lost, capitalism won. So here we have a great mega bundle for the new whales. And from one old whale to the new whales, I say hello. Now, this means the player base is good. And the player base is wealthy enough to keep this game going. So I'm going to look on the bright side of greed and see that as a great thing. Also, for, all the whales, if they've put all the old stuff in one bundle, maybe WarGaming Chicago is going to be like, all right, we got new toys coming down the line. All right, and we would really like to put some of this stuff in the back, you know? All right, focus on the new. Stop talking about the old. Here's the Malot. I know. I wish I could get the Malot. I really do. But right now, I'm saving up for what I'm assuming is going to be, Metal Fest 2026. So, I'm not just gonna constantly drain hundreds of dollars into this game. All right, I gotta be a little more splurgy. You know what I mean? Okay? So, comment down below what you think the new whales should be getting if they're not going to get the mega bundle, okay? Now, we also have some other good news, and that's we've got some new tanks. Yes. So, now let's switch from the whales to everybody, okay? And for the other good news from this last update is we have a new tech tree branch that is only in Era 2 and their Centurion variants. I'm not necessarily going to complain about that because it's the Oliphant Mark 1A, the Shot-Gal Kimmel. Apologies to any Israeli fans, which there are none, for mispronouncing that, forgive me. And then the Elephant Mark 1A. It does suck that we don't have the Elephant Mark 2, but I'll get to that in a second. I'm glad they that WarGaming Chicago decided to just give us 3 Centurion variants as opposed to what could be a lot, because when it came to the Centurions, especially the Israelis, they did a lot of modification to them over time as, the Cold War progressed and the Middle East started heating up for them then, unlike now. So, and that's also why it's kind of weird to have South African tanks lead into the Merkava tanks, but if you kind of squint your eyes and don't look directly at them all, it's kind of, well, Israel really did help design or help South Africa design and upgrade their Centurions to become the Oliphants, because essentially the Oliphant, especially with like the Mark II, was basically they just took a Centurion and then gutted it, just left the hull and then like did whatever they could to build a tank the South Africans thought could work for them. So I'm okay with this kind of shortcuts here because we don't need to be like the snail game and have a whole bunch of variants. Let's keep it simple. Let's try to keep things streamlined a little bit. And I know everyone is not pleased to have more Centurions, especially in Era 2, because they're so wonderfully easy to ammo rack. But with these, at least, the fuel tank might stop an AT jammer 2 and just get you set on fire and then ammo racked. I'm from the perspective of the opposing player. That would be a spectacular sight. But I know some may be complaining, oh, great, more Centurions, but you have to think. Cold War, especially post-war, you ended up having 5 nations that produced tanks, that could produce tanks on a large scale. America, UK, Europe, Germany, France, USSR, and I'm forgetting one. How am I forgetting the 5th? Yeah. Germany, France, USSR, America, UK. There we go. So, and if you're complaining about Centurions, have you seen the amount of T-54, T-55 variants there are? Because if you haven't, then you clearly are Western Alliance mains. Alright? I'm sorry, if you want a completely different tank, I mean, be glad we got the Osario, okay? But anyway, back to more positive. This is good. It helps, streamline it, keep it tight. Wish there was the Mark II for the Oliphant Mark II, because Era 3, I do feel, could use a few more mediums. I know what you're thinking. What are you, crazy? They'll just be chow for the MBTs. I know, right? But sometimes you need a different playstyle, and especially with contracts now kind of being, especially like for the Chase A, it's like, yep, you have to play, if you're playing Cold War, you have to be in Era 3, and you have to play heavies. Well, if we're going to have contracts that are that specific, it's like, yeah, more variety might be nice. And with how WarGaming has, they make the rules so they can break the rules. We do have tanks that are well into the 2000s. I'm looking at you, Leclerc T4. So, with the Oliphant Mark II being pretty much built in 2000, I'm like, nah, that's good. We have tanks from 1995. That's like the Ramses 2, which is an Era 2. I was a 1995, so I don't know. I do wish this tech tree line branch, not a line, branch extended into Era 3, but at the very least, I'm really glad though that crew in Chicago was like, we're not going to just flood the independent tank line with Centurions. And they could have. The Israelis did a lot of upgrading and redesigning of the Centurion. So I'm just glad it's 3 and not a crazy amount of here's the 1, here's the 1A, 1A1, 1A, 2A. Like, you know what I mean. So comment down below. What do you think of the Centurions coming, more Centurions in Era 2? Are you enjoying them, or are you enjoying detonating their ammo racks? Comment down below, like and subscribe. Hope you keep traction to the ground. RNG's in favor. And I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.